Right. Hey everybody. I hope you all had a great day so far. Light's a bit bright. I'm doing pretty good. Feeling a lot better today actually. I haven't really my asthma seems to have calmed down, so that's always nice. Let's just jump right into it. I'm gonna do some more on Lizard Tamer today. For now. And yesterday I had started updating, or not updating, but trying to support a random number generator in script. And in order to ensure that we always load the same file from a save file, we have to do what's called seeding the random number generator so that it always gives the same sequence. And so we have to support passing that along in the save file, so that made me think of a bunch of things we need to do to try to clean up the sequence for loading from a save file. In particular, this class is supposed to like gather data from the save file and place everything into this battle log, which is kind of like the initial state of the battle. So we finished that, but probably a big change is that I don't actually keep around the save file any longer. So like this battle data creator, which is supposed to create the actual battle class, which is kind of like the current state of the battle at the specific turn. It used to read from the save file, and that's what these errors are about, is I deleted that because I need to come and update it. Also, spontaneously yesterday, the colors messed up for my code thing, and I haven't had a chance to try and fix it, so we'll get to that. I guess these colors are fine, but it's just not what I'm used to. Okay, so here it's checking to see if we're loading from a file. We have to do stuff, but we don't have to, well, we don't have to worry about this anymore. So I think I can get rid of this whole thing. So yeah, we'll just copy the monsters. Right now it says from save, but we'll actually just copy from the battle log. Let me see what else. So this is like loading the actions from the save file, which we don't have to do anymore because I did that back here. You can check. Yeah, the actions add range. Okay, and here it says save file has invalid turn number. I guess I probably should check for that as well. So if file.turn number is less than 0, then we'll throw new map gen exception. Save file has invalid turn number. I also don't like try to validate any of this stuff, which we probably should do because these save files will be editable. That's just anything we put on the file system can be changed. So let me see, what should I put that under? Okay, I'll just put under code cleanup, I guess. Oh, I don't know. Miscellaneous, save, yeah, validate information loaded from save file and save file data gatherer. That'll actually be kind of a big job, so I'm not going to worry about it right now. Okay, and then this is like if we're from a new file, so we get stuff from the lobby. Okay, and so this is also checking to see if the file name is null, but that wouldn't be handled here. Okay, that's fine. So this is gonna set up the player types. So here it's going to, oh yeah, because the battle needs to know if it's a local player or an online player. So that's why it's a little more complicated than before. Because here we basically just see if the slot type from the lobby is either a player or an AI. But here we have to also check to see if a username is a local username or not. And then the host for the game always controls all the AI. Okay, so I think I can leave this, although I need to make sure that everything is synchronized with the battle log too, I guess. So how should I do that? Well, I mean, the battle log reads from the lobby parameters as well, so maybe... Okay, yeah, that's actually... I don't think I should read from the lobby, I'll read from the battle log. Okay, so... Save... Player... players... And of course we still need the client info, so we'll switch save type. Okay, so if this is a player, okay, enforce username. So I don't actually deal with that before, so I guess I still do need the lobby parameters too. Well, I mean, they should all be synchronized because the lobby actually reads this information from the save file to set everything up. So maybe... Well, it's kind of hard to worry about this right now because the save, I mean, we don't have an actual lobby to test. But probably when we gather from a save file, we should not, like, we should still just create the players this way. Like, we should go based on the lobby, I bet. So let's see. Set up. So I think even if we're loading from a save file, we'll just go with the lobby. Maybe we'll do like some extra stuff down here to make sure that the, like if we had to kick some players or something, then we would, I don't know, delete a player from the start players or something. I don't know. We'll have to test that out. But I don't need that or this. And in fact, I think I'll put setup players first, so that way any other code can rely on this player type. One thing though is I don't ever set up the team. That's one thing I do need to do from the save file. Let me see. So log, or let's see, for int p 0 p. Oh gosh. Less than log players length. Okay, so if Well, I guess there's no if. I just need to set the team for the save player from the file. So log dot start players. Gosh, my fingers are. Team equals file players team. I think that would be okay. One other thing I could see is that the indexes of the players in the save file might get reshuffled based on the lobby, so we need to like match up the usernames and things. But yeah, we'll figure that out. Let me let's actually just have a separate entry here for the loading phase. Okay. A lot of these problems just come from the fact that we don't actually have a good lobby to test this stuff with. I don't need to put a star there. Let me see, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah. Match players from save file with players in the lobby if they get reshuffled. Okay. But yeah, I won't worry about that yet because it'll be hard to test until we actually have the lobby set up. Okay, so anyway, now we have this thing. So do I want... I guess we'll just go based on the lobby again. Or maybe this enforced name would be taken care of. I guess I just need to decide which... Okay, so I guess this would actually go back before, because yeah, I'm trying to decide which class has like the authority here. Okay, so let's redo what I just undid. I think I'll put this back in the other class. Okay, so I don't actually have the client yet. I think this actually... So this is like enforcing a username, so it's making sure that a specific slot has a specific username. So this would be something that would happen in the lobby, actually. So I'm not sure why I even have this information here. I guess it was just for testing. And force username. I think I can get rid of this for now, or at least I'll just leave it as a comment. I'm not really sure what that code was supposed to accomplish. Okay, and then I can... Okay, I have the save type. Oh wait, no, I want the AI script. And then I guess if there's none, then we would just set the player type to none as well. And that would just be, I guess, well, again, it depends on how the lobby deals with it, but if there was just an empty slot. Okay, and I don't have to do this anymore. Okay, so yeah, no save file. We'll actually just create everything from the save monster, which... Okay, I do actually do already, but this should just go from the battle log. Okay, and usually this will be empty because... Well, it'll be empty for a new game because it has to go to the team building phase. Let me see. So this is all fine. It's just setting the stat. Okay, and then it's creating a map object for the monster. Yeah, so that's all fine. Okay, we'll comment that debug out just to try and clean up the log. Okay, file does not contain information for all players. That should be caught already, so I'm not going to worry about it. That should have been caught in the lobby, actually. Okay, so save player, this is actually just from the battle log. And all it's going to do is... Okay, I did that already, actually. Oh, I don't know why I have start players, because the players are constant, but... Okay, so I think this is all fine. Some of this code actually should go in the other class because it's reading the data from the save file, but I guess I don't validate that at all right now, so... Probably what I'll do when I make the game more data oriented is that I'll just have a separate class that will test for all these different errors. Alright, so I think... Okay, there's still more on the map creator. And the save file writer, so right now it gets it from the battle, but I think I can just have it get that from the battle log. I don't know if it has a reference to. Okay, I do need the battle, I guess, because I need to know the current turn number. Yeah, because the log... Does it have a turn number in it? No. Yeah, that's only stored in the save file, so... Okay, I do need the battle, I need both. I guess I shouldn't have just undid that, but... Okay, there we go. And then there's some stuff in the map creator, probably because it's using the save file. Okay, yeah, this is creating a start field, but we actually don't need that because we can generate the entire field only from the random seed. So that's fine. Okay, so now I think I've set up everything. Let me just make sure. So save file, when is this set? Okay, the data compiler. And then the log, when is that set? Data gather either sets it from the file or from the lobby parameters. And when is this set? Okay, it's set when it receives a message from the server. Okay, and that's it. So I guess I should set initial value. I thought I did that. Oh, I think I remember how. Yeah, because I just send it as a message, and then when the message is sent to the server, the random seed, it gets it from the save file. Okay, so everything should be set up. Okay, so now I need to make the actual random numbers generator. And I think that part will actually be pretty simple. Okay, I don't want to call it just random because that will both conflict with the Unity Engine random class and the C# base random class, so. Oh, this wasn't supposed to be in data, it should have been in the Lua interface. Okay. So I guess, well, before I do this, I wonder if maybe I should just create the random number generator in the game data. Probably, because some C# game logic might actually want to also access the random number generator. And I just gotta be careful that whenever I call this, it's entirely deterministic so that it's always the same every time we reload from a file. Okay, so when should this be created? I guess the first time it's ever going to be used is here. Although it seems, I don't know, it should actually be created like during the game data, but maybe the random number generator shouldn't be in the game data, it should be in the battle. Yeah, I think that makes a little more sense. So that means that we can generate this. And again, I don't It doesn't really make much difference, but right now the where is it, the map generation phase? We create the map first and then set up the battle. I think I mean, it doesn't really make a whole lot of difference, but I would kind of prefer if we set up the battle first and then create the map. But I guess we want to be able to, like, check to make sure the monsters are in the right position. And right now it's kind of hard to insert stuff in here. So it feels like it'd be a waste just to create the random number generator in another file before this, so... I don't really want to do it in this class because it doesn't have access to the battle. Okay, well maybe, I think it is time that I move the battle data creator before the field. And then if I need to, I can have another class later that validates it and everything. Yeah, because this does stuff that should happen before the map is even generated, like making sure the players are set up okay and the monsters make sense. It doesn't really, like, nothing ever actually cares about the positions yet. Okay, so let's switch these around. And I guess I should do some checking, but I guess it does it. Should I go ahead and add another class here or another phase? Because what should happen is, like, this should set up the battle, then this should create the map, and then there should be something else to make sure that all the monsters make sense on the map before we simulate any actions. But I guess I could just do that in the map creation phase. I don't know. I guess I'll wait to do that. I can always add that in later. Let's see. Validate monster positions after the map has been created. Let's say new phase. Again, I'm hesitant to mess with this too much until I get the new event system up and running, which hopefully will be soon. That's what I'm working on now. Okay, well, I just thought of something I wanted to do, but now I can't remember what it was. What was I thinking of? Okay, well, maybe it'll come back to me. Oh, right, I wanted to make sure that the map, when you create a new block, that it doesn't create itself over air. I thought that I wrote that down, but I don't see it anywhere. Okay, it's right here. I put in the Lua and scripts. I guess that's fine. Anyway, so I switched these around, and now I need to go and change a bit of the flow exception, or flow manager. Yeah, so this should be swapped. Okay, and also it skips the simulate actions phase if there's no save file. Also, yeah, it skips the read save file phase. I think that's a mistake though, because this read save file sets up the battle log too. That's it. So set up initial state. I guess that'll just always run. Let's switch this to on initial state created. And we could change this message as well, but it's like I said, when we get the new event system, one of my main things I want to get rid of is all this code. It's just a little confusing. Okay, so anyway, yeah, if it's connected, we do that. If not, we disconnect. It's fine. The setup file, it skips the simulate actions if there's no save file, which I guess is fine, but I think that the simulate actions could just run anyway, and then it would see that there's nothing to simulate and then just go from there. So I think I'm just making things more complicated by trying to skip stuff. So okay, so on init state, I just need to switch these around. Okay, so on initial state created, we switch to, oh yeah, I switched this around too much. Okay, so we switch to setup battle, and then setup battle we switch to create map, and create map we switch to simulate actions. Okay, and that should be all I have to do there. Okay, there still should be some errors, so I can't test this yet. Oh, okay, yeah, because I accidentally had to change the class around. We've gotten duplicates. For some reason that always happens in Unity. There's random utilities here and then down here as well. I created it in the wrong spot and then had to move it. For some reason Unity doesn't delete the original position. Okay, so anyway, the whole thing I wanted to do this for is because this battle data creator should create the random sequence. And I'll just even do it up at the very beginning in case any of these functions need to use the random number generator for some reason. Okay, we can pass the seed through to it right here. And so now this random number generator will always create the same sequence of random numbers based on this seed. Okay, that's good. So this random utilities, now I can figure out how I want to do this. Okay, and again, this is just a Moonsharp class, so we want to hide the constructor from Moonsharp so that Lua cannot create new instances of this. And then this we need to tag as a user data so Moonsharp knows that this class is safe to use in Lua. Okay, and I'm gonna throw not supported exception so that I won't accidentally use that constructor, because when we want to actually use, it has to take the game link as argument, and the game link is just links the Lua interface with the rest of the game so that it can get access to the battle and then the random number generator. Okay, so first, come on. What is going on with my fingers? So what functions do I want to have here? So I have get int between. Well, I mean, in Lua, integers are the same as a float, but I guess I'd still want to be able to like get an integer between here instead of like a range between there. I don't know why I'm having such a hard time typing right now. It seems like my keyboard's been shifted or something. Okay, so we want start and I guess minimum and maximum, and this will be inclusive, so in order to do this, we would return link battle random next. Okay, and the max value here is not inclusive, so for instance, if we return, or if we set the max value to I guess 3, then it would, and the min value to 1, then it would only ever return 1 and 2. But for this function, I want it to return the max value, so we need to just add 1. And again, it has to do with 0 versus 1 indexing. I'll go ahead and do a couple more functions here. Get between 0 and 1. Okay, we can turn next double. I can just return a double here actually. Let's just say get what would be the get fraction? I don't know. I guess I could just say get float, but for someone who doesn't really know programming, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Although I guess they're gonna have to program to write these, but I'm trying to make it simpler. I don't know, it doesn't, we'll see. Well, it's hard to rename stuff in Lua because I can't just refactor it. Let's also change this to next. Okay, I guess it'll be a real number. There you go. Okay, and to do this, we would just, well, we just alert between minimum and maximum, so... Okay, and yeah, that's... Engine... Math F... lerp... Come on. And then I need to cast this to a float because because MathF needs a float, but this random only returns a double. Okay, so that's fine. I mean, yeah, if we want to get one between 0 and 1, we could just pass 0 and 1. There are other helper functions we could do, like, I don't know, a random. Well, we already know that we want to do the random position in hexagon, which is going to be kind of interesting, actually. Okay, but anyway, so now we have this random number, so I can just say get or next int. And we won't worry about doing an offset. Well, actually, I kind of have to because I won't be able to see multiple pebbles. Okay, so let's do, okay, so random world position in hex. I don't know if you guys just heard my dog. Must be playing, probably with my cat. Okay, so position utilities. What do I want to do? Public world position, random world position in hex. Okay, and I don't really know. Okay, I don't really want to spend forever on this math, so let's just pretend the hexagon is a circle. And I'll use this hex radius. Float radius equals hex radius. And then we'll return new world position. Oh, I guess I gotta do a random angle. So do I have the link? Good. Link battle random next double times mathf 2 pi. This would be pi times 2 is fine. Okay, and so this would be mathf sine. Or, okay, I gotta think about this actually. Because, well, I guess it doesn't really matter what angle 0 is, but I was gonna say we want the x to be 1 at 0, so that means that we have to use cosine, but it doesn't actually matter because, yeah, the angle, we're not actually using the angle right now, we're just trying to have some random position on this circle. Also, yeah, this would just give me something on the edge. I need to also do link battle next double times the hex radius. Okay, so that should do that. Oh, okay, so one other thing I need to do, what's this one? Oh yeah, I need to have the depth value, so I'll just 0. Okay, so this is fine, but I need to set this random number generator in the Lua namespace. So to do that, first I need to create it in the Lua object registry. So private random utils. Let's just create a field. And delete the setter. We don't need that. I don't know what happened yesterday. Visual Studio's been super slow. I think, yeah, this Codinian, which is the extension I use to color text, must have broken and it's like making everything run slow. There's an easy way to just disable it. I don't know Visual Studio well enough to deal with it right now. Okay, so... Alright, and then in the asset organizer is where we set up the Lua namespace, so... Let's add this new object there. Lua set global random. Object registry random. One other thing I want to check out is when we actually create the Lua script, I think I need to disable Lua's built-in random number generator because we don't want this scripts to do that. Yes, so preset soft sandbox. Okay, so I guess I'll need to look up on Moonsharp and see what that is. Moonsharp. Sandbox. Okay, so soft sandbox has global constants, table iterator, string table, basic math, and 32. And then the soft sandbox has metatables, error handling, coroutine, operating system time, and dynamic. So where is the random? Basic method includes assert, click garbage, error, print, select type, to number, and to string. I don't really want that. I think error handling is okay. Is it? Where is the Lua random number generator? It shouldn't ever be used by these scripts. I guess I could disable it myself by like overriding the global. Let me see. Lua random. Oh, it is in math, I think. Yeah. Okay, that's kind of a pain. Okay, so soft sandbox, I think. Okay, so I don't really want... Yeah, script should never have to know about the time either because that's something that would be different. So I think I'll just do the hard sandbox and then also pass in metatables and coroutine. Okay, also coroutines and metatables. And then I need to delete the math.random. So how can I do that? Environment. Get. Okay, so environment globals get math table set random to new nil. So this should like set this random function to nil, and so it should not be callable by the scripts. And then I think there's random seed. Everything else should be fine. Absolute value, arc, tangent, ceiling, cosine, degree, exponent, floor, modulo. I think huge. It just gives like a really big number. Yeah, positive infinity. I think max integer is like the biggest integer that's possible. Doesn't seem like it actually talks about it. And what is alt? That's kind of weird. The official documentation doesn't even say what math.alt does for Lua. I don't think anybody knows. Okay, well I won't worry about it for now unless it becomes an error. I mean a problem. Okay, yeah, I just want to also delete the random seed function. I shouldn't have closed that, but I want to make sure that I spelled random seed correctly. Okay, yeah, it's all lowercase, so. Okay, so hopefully that won't throw any errors, and I guess let's test it out by just doing math, random, and math, random seed equals. Oh, well, that wouldn't cause any problem, but. Random generate pseudo, blah, 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 blah. Okay, yeah, so that should be a seed. So I should call it. And both of these should throw an error. Okay, there we go. Okay, argument cannot be null. Where is that? File stream. Okay, so I was probably trying to load a null save file, I guess. Save file data gatherer at 43. Save file loader, so gatherer at 56. Okay, well, I should just make it so that this returns null if... okay. Well, if the save file is null, it should just this load should return null. If string is null or empty, file path, then we just return null. I think that's okay. Okay, more. So the log start monsters is null. Probably. Should that ever happen? Well, how would that be null? So obviously the file is null, so we're gathering from a new file. Okay, and I guess no, it should. I set this to 0. But I guess if the file had no monsters. Okay, I don't want it to load from a file, so I should make sure. Debug. I always forget to turn this off before I open the code. It makes it take forever to recompile. Okay, so it is a null save file, so how come... I guess the log could be null. Did I forget to get the log file? No, it's right there, and anyway, it would have... Oh, I set the start monsters to null right there. Okay. And yeah, no reason to clear that. In fact, I should just do this in this file, which I do already. Okay, that was kind of messy. Okay, so now there's Lua exception. Attempt to call a nil value at 33. So hopefully, yeah, that's that. Okay, so good. That got deleted. Now let's test this one. Okay, same thing. Okay, so now we should run, and hopefully this will run without any hitches, and we'll load into the game and see a bunch of little red pebbles, but no. Cannot access field position offset. Oh, I rename it to like spawn position offset? I think that's the problem there. Yeah, it should be spawn position offset. Okay, so now it loaded. It looks like it worked. There's some weird stuff like this is floating in the air. Oh, that's strange. Even when it's floating, it still gets ambient occlusion. It doesn't look right at all. Oh well. Anyway. But yeah, it is random. And some of them don't have any pebbles associated with them. All these do, but this one doesn't have any. Okay, cool. So I think one thing I learned from this is that the positions I need to try to... Well, either they need to stick only to the top of the hexagon, or or they should somehow follow the contours. Which is a kind of interesting problem. But anyway, so okay, we got random done. Cool. I guess let's try to run it again, and they should look exactly the same as before because the random number is the same, or the seed is the same. Yeah, so we have that one floating there. It looks good. Okay, so now we're done with that. And did random. Let me just look around. Specify model, chance to spawn. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so I think we're finally complete with supporting doodads, and now I've... well, not actually, we have to do rotations. Yeah, that's kind of important. But I guess we are done with that. We just need to do the rotation. I won't check off the entire thing though. Yeah, right here. Okay, this stuff we'll save for later. Okay, I guess I can do this while I'm thinking about it. Probably we can just dispose of it after we simulate actions, so... Now that I think about it is... Well, this action simulator is not, like, up to date. Let me see. Went right over it. So private, sim, action simulator params. I'll just do this real quick. Having such a tough time typing today. Okay, so how does it know? It just logs actions, doesn't actually care about the turn count. I guess that makes sense. But anyway, when it's done, it should just dispose of this. Okay, so I guess it's the battle data creator, because at some point we need to set the turn number for the battle. Okay. Well, maybe I'll just do that during the action simulator. So let's get a handle on the battle too. So this will be battle dot turn number equals sim parameters simulate to turn plus 1, I think. Yeah, because here before we increment, we actually save before we increase the turn number. So in order for once we simulate up to the end of the save file, we would need to add one to actually begin on the next turn. Okay, so there we go. That's all good. A little aside to deal with that. Okay, so I guess we don't really need... Well, actually we do need rotation because I'll want to have random rotations also for these boulders. So right now I could just allow rotation only on or around the z-axis, but that seems like a bad idea, especially since at some point mods will be able to support lights and the camera, which will need to have full 3D rotation. So I guess I need to give the Lua interface some what's the word? Some concept of rotations. And I guess I could just call this a quaternion, but nobody really knows what a quaternion is except for game developers, so I could just call it a 3D rotation as well. We actually have to do it rotation 3D because you can't start a class name with a number. But this will basically just be a quaternion. In fact, I think I'll have a quaternion as its backing data type. And yeah, if you don't know what a quaternion is, don't worry. Most people don't, but you can basically use them to represent a rotation in 3D, and that's what we're going to be doing here. They are kind of interesting though if you're interested in math. It's kind of like a 4D complex number. I don't really... It's hard to... Well, I don't understand them all the way, so... Okay, and again, I want to hide... Okay, and this will just be another, like, not cached object, kind of like the world position. That will just be created because there's an infinite number of quaternions, so there's no reason to try and cache them. Okay, and this should be throw, new, not supported, because we always want to have some backing quaternion. Okay, so now I have this. Probably, I mean, the facing utilities kind of deal with the rotation as well, but I mean, it's sometimes useful just to have an angle instead of a quaternion, so I think I'll still support that. But I guess I'll return a rotation 3D here. Okay, and the only... okay. The only confusing thing about this is that, again, I have the z-axis is... Okay, well, yeah, this will be interesting to try and convert. The z-axis is altitude in this coordinate system, but in Unity, the y-axis is altitude, and I kind of would like to keep it like that. I'm starting to question if that is worth it because I don't... Well, I need to try and figure out how to convert a quaternion like that to one in Unity space. Well, I guess, let's see. I guess I would just need to rotate it 90 degrees from Z to Y. So that might not be as bad as I think. I'll need to test that. But anyway. So this will be a quaternion. Angle axis. I always get confused. One is deprecated. But yeah, I don't really know why they did that. And then the axis is around the z-axis, so vector 3, 0, 0, 1. And so this just returns a rotation around this axis, this many angles. Oh, I need to say return. I guess the thing is, do I need to make another like rotation helper, or can I tie the rotation in with the facing, or maybe even the positions? I think that might be fine. Okay, so rotation 3D, create rotation, and I guess float. So we could either do it like from Euler angles or from angle axis. Or not Euler, sorry. I said that phonetically, Euler angles. Reading online, I always pronounce it like that until I actually heard somebody say it, so sometimes it still creeps into my language. Okay, also, if I'm going to have this position utilities deal with these 3 data types, I should probably like say arc linear. Well, I guess this is fine. Because I could support world positions at some point if I wanted to, but okay, so basically what Euler angles are is it's a rotation around the x-axis, the y-axis, and then the z-axis, and then what am I trying to say? Yeah, that's it. But now that I'm really, oh gosh. But now, yeah, this is going to, if I use Unity's quaternions, the code here is actually a little different depending on like what angle is facing upwards, because the order that you apply those rotations matters to the final thing. And so, and Unity of course considers Y to be upwards. How do I want to deal with this? One way is that this rotation 3D, I could change it to not have a quaternion as a back and instead have an angle and an axis. But that's basically a less powerful version of just using a quaternion. Maybe I should just use Unity's version, like, coordinate system. I've been thinking about it. And although I prefer to have Z as the altitude, the actual, like, the mod editor is also going to be in Unity, so, I mean, maybe I should just use the same coordinate system as the mod editor. Probably. Okay, that's annoying. Okay, so yeah, in game logic, Y is up, Y is up. And rotations, I want it to be the same as Unity. Except we'll use radians instead of angles, which is simple. Okay, so where to... I'm gonna need to go and change lots of stuff. Okay, well, let's start... I guess it's good that I caught this now. Yeah, because my... Yeah, I kind of had this in the back of my mind, thinking about it yesterday, that, like, trying to have a different coordinate system is fine. But since the actual mod tools are going to also be in Unity, it's going to be really weird to have the mod editor have Y as up, but then the mod scripts have Z as up, so... anyway, let's start with this hex position and try and figure out what I need to do here. So, so I guess I need to change all this. Oh wait, no, these are rows, columns, and layers, so that's fine. It's only when I transform to vector 3s. Okay, so this already uses X and Z. So yeah, I already did that in Unity space. Which is kind of weird thinking about it now. Okay, and then yeah, I just use that. So I just need to change this layer to go in as the Y coordinate. Okay, and then the hex math probably has some things about that as well. Okay, so now the game units are the same as Unity units, but just in case, we can still have this helper function. Okay, so this needs to switch to this. And you can see kind of why I prefer altitude to be Z, because altitude is usually handled slightly differently than the two, I guess, planar things, which planar directions. But okay, yeah, and here I even use vector 3 up, which is Y is up. So I wasn't even that consistent. So what about What do I need to change here? I'm probably going to be finding things. Let's comment this out for now. Okay, that's all fine. Okay, I don't like switch around anything there. Oh yeah, because Lua units and game units have always been the same. It's just the conversion from game units to Unity units that was different. So that might be all I have to change. Let's see, load into the game, and hopefully everything will still be fine. Okay, no, something's still wrong. These are now under the ground. At least the monsters are still in the right position. Let me try to move the monsters and see if they still jump correctly. Okay, no, that's, yeah, it's still offset. Probably has to do with this movement. Final position, maybe the arc height. Doesn't, okay, yeah, this target vector 3 is what I need to look at. Okay, so the layer should be... Okay, I don't have to do that anymore. Because the layer is baked into this 2 Cartesian now. Okay, that's fine. I think that might have been the issue. Let me look at the linear mover and make sure that it doesn't add the arc height to the wrong position. Okay, no, it does add it to the Y, so... Or the wrong coordinate, I should say. Okay, yeah, so those are still under the ground, but I'll fix that. Okay, no problem walking. Okay, that looked fine, actually. Okay, good. I think I fixed it. That was wrong, though. What's going on with the rotation there? What did I do with that? Oh, and I've got an error now. One-time exception. Attempt to index or to call a nil value at ability scripts line 208. Oh, yeah, this is old. I don't really... That's okay if this is messed up. In fact, I don't need either of these. So why are the ankles all messed up now? I didn't even touch those. Maybe I should wait until I finish the rest of the rotation system before I try and debug this, because right now I just use angles. Okay, for some reason... Well, that's even a little weird because that was a straight jump, so I shouldn't have had to rotate at the end. Yeah, for one, it rotated the wrong way, and they overshot the bounds. But yeah, let's just wait a bit on that because I'm going to be updating the rotation system imminently. Could something I added to the facing functions have messed that up? Oh, because all I added was this rotation thing. But now I should change this to vector 3 up, so I'm kind of glad I caught that. Okay, so this facing also has like rotation stuff. Maybe I should just have this be like... Well, I don't know, facing is different than rotation. I guess the question is I don't know if I'm not sure where to place these functions. Like, should I put rotation functions in this position utilities? I guess rotation is part of your position, so I think that is fine. And then facing will just be like for rotations around the y-axis, because that is the facing, because the facing is like a specific type of rotation, and it has also a gameplay effect as well, so but at the same token, the board positions also have a gameplay thing. I don't know, it doesn't really matter. I'm trying to think too much about how to organize this. I could just combine them all together actually and have like one big script that helps with positioning. Okay, actually... I don't know. For some reason my brain is a bit fried trying to do all this math. Actually, I wanted to do art today. Anyway. Let's see. Okay, so we got this set up. And what I really want to do is be able to... Like, I should convert all these things that use just a flat angle to actually use this new rotation 3D. And I guess in that case, facing utilities, maybe the facing will just also throw in rotation. So, there we go. In that case, I think I'll spin it off into its own file because there's going to be probably a lot of functions added to it. And I guess the facing is like a specific type of rotation, so it'll be fine. Okay, so again, since this is a Moonsharp class, I need to hide the constructors and tag this as usable in Lua, which we do Moonsharp user data. And probably should make it public as well. Yeah, let's be a little bit more specific here. So not supported exception. Not that it matters a whole lot. Okay, so here we're going to create, and I guess I'll change this to create facing. That's fine. Towards closest. So yeah, this picks the facing direction, which is like the one of the 6 cardinal hexagon directions that we're facing. And then towards angle. What would... Is there a better word than towards for this? Basically, if we're standing here and we're facing that, what would be the angle? And I guess I want this to be flat as well. I guess it's what is the term for that? I don't really want to use facing, but I guess towards is fine. So a flat angle doesn't make sense. Angle around Y. And we'll actually return a rotation 3D object here instead of a float now. Okay, yeah, we'll just deal with that. And then return new rotation 3D. Quaternion. Oops, why did I do that? Don't want that. Oh, it's because I'm not using the Unity engine, I guess. Okay, so again, this is axis angle, or no, angle axis. And I need around vector 3 up. So again, this will return a quaternion that signifies a rotation this many angles around this axis, which is up. That's what we want here. Okay, so let's change this to like 2 rotation, and so it'll convert a number or facing to rotation around Y. And this should be rotation. And I could just pass the same thing. This would be the value dot number. Oh, that's a double, so I need to cast that to a float. So do I want to also... Well, I could support like passing in a rotation 3D That wouldn't make much sense though. Okay. So again, this I want to find out if it's clockwise or counterclockwise. And this could be useful to be around any axis, but I don't really know how I would figure that out around any axis. Is there a good function for that? Yeah, returns the angle in degrees between two rotations. That's not what I want. I want to find the rotation around a specific axis on this quaternion. Don't know if there's a way to do that. I guess what I would do is I would rotate this quaternion. Oh no, because I need to get like the Euler angles of it. As if... How would I do that? I don't know. I'll need to look into that. Oh, well no, this is exactly what I need. It returns the angle between start and target. But that doesn't tell me... How would I find if it's clockwise or counterclockwise? That'd be some math. Let's not deal with that right now, I don't think. Okay, so, that's all good. Alright, so another thing I want to do is rename the facing utilities to rotation utilities. And also rename that one. Okay, and that is renamed as well. Okay, so I think that's fine now. Let's update this script to work. Okay, so this is like the towards angle around Y. I'm trying to think if there's a better name for that. It's, I mean, kind of flat, but I don't know. I guess this makes sense. It basically is just ignoring the altitude. I guess I could just say that towards angle, ignore altitude. Well, in that case, we could also just pass a boolean to ignore the altitude. Oh, yeah, the term for this is a look-at rotation. Yeah, so let's change this. So look at rotation. Also, like, you can have a different up axis, but really we just want this to be simple. Okay, in fact, I think I'll just call it flat, even though, I mean, because for one thing, we're only taking it around the y-axis and y-axis is up angle, so. Okay, I guess this is fine. There's another way I could do it using the quaternion look at. Yeah, because you get the forward and upward. Okay, and that's fine. And I don't, yeah, we'll need to try and figure out. Look at rotation to, yeah, what I was gonna say, I need to try and figure out if there's a way to find out if a certain rotation is gonna be clockwise or not. Oops, and now my internet's starting to go. Apparently. Sorry about that. Come on, just hang out for 10 more minutes, please. You can do it. ISP. Okay, so what? Let's just pass there. I don't actually. Okay, so the set facing I need. Oh, well, the final facing. Okay, I think I messed this up. Yeah, that's supposed to be towards facing, and that's towards angle. So this would be look at rotation flat, and then this should just be look at facing. So let's change this. Okay, so here do rotate animation. We take the rotate target, which is now our rotation 3D object. So this, yeah, is supposed to return clockwise or not. Maybe I should just change this instead of returning it like a name. It should just say is clockwise. Yeah, the problem here is that yeah, this is expecting a 2 rotation flat. But I'd really like to be able to, yeah, if we have a specific rotation here to another rotation, it should be able to tell if we did a 2 from quaternion rotation, if it was clockwise or not. Let me see. Let me just look that up real quick. Because, yeah, I need to know that in order to test this. So, unity, quaternion, clockwise. And I really have no idea. Which direction? It depends on the coordinate system. If right-handed... Okay, so yeah, I think unity is left-handed because Z points away from the viewer. But that would just be a difference between positive and negative, so it's a huge deal. I don't know if that is going to help me much. So from a quaternion, can I figure out the axis? Oh, yes I can, because you can just multiply it by up. Think. And then if I did that... Okay, but I need to find the angle. So I have the angle between the start and the target, but it always gives me the smallest one, so it doesn't tell me if it's clockwise or counterclockwise, so I can't actually use that. Or would it be positive or negative? If it's positive or negative, then that's exactly what I need. I don't know if that's true though. Oh, I don't want to update right now. Apple. So let's see. Unity, quaternion, angle. Because this might be exactly what I need. Turns the angle. Oh, thank you. That's so useful. It doesn't... Not... I don't know if you could detect that sarcasm. It's not very descriptive, is it? Okay, yeah, that's... Yeah, that's what I want to know. The signed angle between two quaternions. Okay, math F, delta angle to get the signed difference between two angles. So perhaps 3D rotations at 2D angles relative to a certain direction. Okay, so I could use A tan 2 for that. Okay, yeah, so I guess... Oh, okay, I see. So I need to get a forward vector for each rotation by rotate or multiplying it by vector forward, and then I can use arc tangent to get an angle for each vector, and from that I can tell if it's positive or negative. Okay, so I guess the question is... Well, no, I guess it would always be forward. Okay. So start quaternion is 2. Okay, I actually don't want it to be flat, so if I pass a facing here... Well, no, let's just do rotation 3Ds. And then, because it's easy to convert a rotation to a rotation 3D, because I already have that. So, this would just be start dot quaternion. Actually, I don't really need to get this value then, do I? Okay, so I need to make this exposed, but just not to Unity, or not to Lua. Okay, so this should actually be forward for the start. Forward for start. Start, forward. Vector 3, forward, and that is, yeah, on the Z axis. Okay, and then vector 3, target, forward. Okay, and if you've never seen like a multiplication between a quaternion and a vector before, this basically rotates this vector to the rotation signified by the quaternion, so you can just visualize this as a flat rotation around the y-axis. And so if this was 30 degrees, then when we multiply the quaternion and this forward vector, it would return another unit vector just rotated 30 degrees. Alright, and so start angle is math F A tan 2. which is just arc tangent. And it should be start forward dot x. Oops, I typed exactly the wrong thing. Dot z. And the difference between atan2 and atan just plain is that atan2 takes care of divisions by 0 and everything, so it's usually easier to use that. Okay, and so now I don't have to do this cross product. I think I'll save that in case I ever need to. Okay, and then angle between is mathf. I thought that they just said Unity provided that. Oh, delta angle. Okay, that's why I couldn't find it before. Okay, so if, yeah, I think I'll just change this to return a Boolean, and let's change this to is rotation to clockwise. I could also, there might be a simpler way to do this actually, if I just have, well no, I was gonna say I could just have the rotation 3 have like an is clockwise thing. And I would just assume that you're trying to rotate from 0, 0, 1. But that's probably not as helpful because then I'd have to like multiply quaternions to rotate each other. Okay, let's get rid of all this. So I'll just return angle between is greater than or equal to 0. I'll need to test this again now, but okay, anyway, so now I can have is rotation to clockwise. Okay, and so now I need to update the rotate animation. Okay, well, let's say start a bit later. I guess I'll keep going a little bit. Although, yeah, now my internet is starting to die again. But let's just see. Wrong thing. Okay, so the map object is again what has all the rotations, so yeah, let's rotate instead of returning a dynamic value for the final rotation. I'll just return, or just use a quaternion. And I think it already converts everything to a quaternion. It returns it converts everything to an angle. Okay, let's do it like this. Else rotation 3D rotation equals rotation user data object as rotation 3D. And I guess I'll need to change this from a angle to a quaternion. And I can just set facing dot rotation quaternion. So if the rotation does not equal null here, then target rotation equals... Oops. And then target rotation found should be set to true. Okay, and so here we have a number. So I just need to do quaternion, axis angle, or which one is it again? Yeah, that one. So again, we'll just, if we just return a number, we'll assume it's around y. So vector 3 up. Okay, and I need to change this to turn a quaternion. Okay, and I need to change this value to be a quaternion. Right, and now in the rotator, I need to also do that. Where is it? Yeah, rotation animator. So I already use rotations here, so that's good to see. I guess I just don't need to do that. I already have this get model rotation around up, but I think I didn't mean to do that. Okay, so these aren't really needed, so this is hex position 2 quaternion around up. I think all it does is, oh yeah, we convert it from radians, so I need to remember to do that. Yeah, because unity quaternions are in degrees. Okay, so actually now that I think about that, every time that I've done this, I actually need to rotate from radians to or convert from radians to degrees. Which probably the only other times that would happen is here. And yeah, I could always just use degrees, but it's not gonna be that helpful because like sine and cosine use radians while quaternion uses degrees. It's kind of annoying. I have a feeling I'm going to run into this problem. Let me see where else. Okay. Okay, so that's like the speed. Okay, that gets the angle between those rotations and tries to deal with that. Also, I wanted to make sure. Okay, I did do slurp. That's what I wanted. That stands for spherical linear interpolation instead of just linear interpolation, and it's slightly different for quaternions. Alright, so I think everything is set up. Let's, I doubt everything will run, but let's just see what happens before I head off for today. Okay, so there's actually an error. Ability scripts 42, attempt to index a nil value. Look at rotation flat. Oh, because these, I changed this to rotation utilities. Okay, I wonder where else uses that. That's the only place. Okay, let's try it one more time because I won't have to recompile. Still a problem. 25, attempt to index a nil value. Oh, I thought I highlighted everything. Okay. I really want to see... I want to get it to move to see if I've gotten the rotation directions fine. Still something. Cannot convert user data to controller type. Rotation 3D at 25. Okay, rotate target. Okay, I guess we don't know. Okay, yeah, because here it's returning a facing. So I should just pass rotation here. I think that's probably what the error was. Unfortunately, in Lua you can't have a stack trace. Alright, one more time. I really need to go eat, but I really want to see. Okay, so the rotations are still wrong, but at least they're kind of there. Or rather, there's like, they're not broken. I wonder, I'll just need to see. Like, cause they're not moving when they are like, they're like 90 degrees off. Okay, that was really weird. I don't know, we'll need to look into that probably with some debugs. But I better get going. Need to go grab something to eat. I'll probably be back later and do some more updates to my old games like I was doing last afternoon. But thanks everybody for coming by and watching. I really appreciate it. I'm sorry my internet's been a little slow the last few minutes, but what can you do? Anyway, if you want to be notified when I go live next, which should be sometime this afternoon, and then we'll have another Lizard Tamer stream at tomorrow at around noon Eastern. Feel free to follow me here or on Twitter. I also have a YouTube channel where I upload all old streams if you'd like to catch up, and a Discord server if you'd like to chat with me throughout the day. I'd love to have you. And I hope you all have a great day, and yeah, I'll see you later. Bye-bye.